Breaking news in the boxing world.
We can talk our shit at the end of the day.
Jake Paul just detonated a bomb on the boxing world, leaking shocking footage that allegedly shows Gervonta Davis beating his ex. What was supposed to be a fight promotion has exploded into a brutal expose of violence, lies, and ego. Now, the gloves are off, and the truth is uglier than any knockout ever seen in the ring.
Yeah, just a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up, warm up.
The whole boxing world thought this fight was just about entertainment. Two loud, larger-than-life figures finally stepping into the same ring. Jake Paul, the internet's ultimate disruptor, and Gervonta Tank Davis, the undefeated knockout artist with a reputation for chaos both inside and outside the ropes. The November 14th fight announcement felt electric. Fans were already debating who would walk away with bragging rights, but no one realized this rivalry was about to turn into something darker, something that had nothing to do with sports and everything to do with truth, power, and pain.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jaden Love ass. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass.
From the start, the tension between them didn't feel like normal fight hype. Jake wasn't just promoting, he was prodding. Every interview, every post carried that sharp edge. Like he knew something the rest of the world didn't. Davis, on the other hand, looked irritated, defensive, almost paranoid. It wasn't the usual confident tank who grins before every knockout. Something in his energy felt off, and Jake Paul was about to pull that thread in front of millions.
At the end of the day, when you have an opportunity like this to do the biggest fight, I think all parties align and just make it happen.
Then came the press conference, the moment that changed everything. The two men sat just feet apart, cameras flashing, reporters shouting. It was supposed to be another chaotic promo event, but the second Jake Paul opened his mouth, the atmosphere turned toxic. He called out his outfit, his haircut, and then he dropped the bomb.
Yeah, we can't actually get the audio up here. We can't hear shit, to be honest.
Facts.
Any man who puts his hands on a woman is the clown, Jake said, staring straight at Davis. The crowd exploded. Cheers, gasps, chaos. It wasn't just trash talk anymore. It was an accusation, a public calling out of something everyone had heard whispers about but never said to his face.
Immediately initiated an investigation upon learning of the civil lawsuit filed against Gervonta Davis in Miami-Dade County on October 30th, 2025.
For a split second, Davis froze. Then he snapped. He leaned forward, eyes blazing, and fired back. Not with calm or control, but with rage. He called the claim corny, tried to turn it into a joke, then went on a full rant. He name-dropped Diddy, saying how when one woman accused him, mad females came forward. But in his case, no one else had. His voice grew louder, words spilling fast, trying to convince the world that silence meant innocence. But the more he talked, the more that silence started to feel heavy.
I'm his boss. He reports to me, and I'm gonna fucking son him on November 14th. So fuck you, little man.
You pay me?
100%, yeah.
100%. 100%. Facts?
Correct.
Yes? Correct?
Correct. I'm your daddy.
He said, if I hit women, there'd be mad other females saying it too. But those words didn't sound strong. They sounded scared. The kind of scared that hides behind anger, because everyone knew what was already out there. The lawsuit, the past arrests, the rumors that never seemed to fade. As the press conference spiraled, the crowd's energy shifted from laughter to disbelief. Reporters traded looks. Social media lit up within seconds. Clips of the confrontation flooded every platform. People picking sides, dissecting every frame. Some defended him. Others said this was the moment he finally showed his true colors. But no one could deny it. Something inside Davis cracked that day.
Davis was accused of assaulting his former partner Father's Day when he went to pick up their two children.
Behind the microphones and the lights, there was a history waiting to surface. Just days earlier, a civil lawsuit had been filed in Miami-Dade County by his ex-girlfriend, Courtney Rossell. The allegations were horrifying: battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and emotional distress. She claimed that on October 27th, 2025, Davis showed up at her workplace, dragged her through a stairwell, hotel, a kitchen, even a parking garage. She said she'd been assaulted before 4 times, maybe more, and that she lived in constant fear. Rossell wasn't just another headline. She described trauma, therapy, and the PTSD that followed. Her statement painted a picture of someone who'd been silenced for too long, and now she was done staying quiet. The timing couldn't have been worse for Davis, or maybe it was the truth finally catching up to him.
Christy Inalek says the charge he is facing is battery with domestic violence, and you mentioned this was an ex-girlfriend, but it is also the mother of his children, that according to police. Let's show you who we're talking about here. You were looking at the mugshot of professional and well-known boxer.
Because this wasn't the first time his name had been tied to violence. He'd been arrested for domestic violence in 2020 and again in 2022. He even spent 44 days in jail in 2023 for violating house arrest after a hit and run. Another ex, the mother of his 2 kids, had dropped her case, saying she didn't want to pursue it. And each time the story faded, fans moved on, and Davis returned to the ring like nothing happened. But this time felt different. When Jake Paul threw that line at the press conference, it wasn't just an insult, it was a mirror. It forced everyone to look at the side of Gervonta Davis that boxing tried to ignore. Suddenly, it wasn't about pay-per-view numbers or fight hype. It was about a pattern of silence, a culture that lets fame bury the truth.
We unequivocally condemn any form of violence and are committed to handling this matter with diligence and respect for all involved.
By the time the press conference chaos had settled, the story had already taken on a life of its own. But then came the real explosion, the lawsuit. And this wasn't some internet rumor or he said, she said drama. This was paperwork, legal, official, stamped, and filed in Miami-Dade County. The name on it? Courtney Rossell, the woman who for years everyone whispered about but no one named. The one who finally decided she was done being quiet. For years, people in boxing circles had heard the whispers, the late night arguments, the calls for help, the police reports that never made it past the first headline. But now, for the first time, someone had put it in writing, under oath, and suddenly the walls started closing in on Tank. It's like the sport had an unspoken rule. If you punch hard enough, people forget. Because in boxing, power forgives everything, until it doesn't. But this time, someone didn't forget. Jake Paul made sure of that.
Man, people are always gonna say this shit. Like, I'm just sick of it, man. But what do people have to say? Come on, keep on saying it, whatever you got. This is what I do, bro. This is why I'm the biggest in the sport. This is why everyone's here today.
Now, love him or hate him, you've got to admit, Jake Paul knows how to flip a story on its head. Most fighters sell fights with trash talk. Jake sold this one with receipts. He took what should have been just another pay-per-view promo and turned it into a moral reckoning.
My skill set continues to improve, and I'm a lot better boxer than these people who have been doing it their whole lives.
For years, fans and promoters treated Gervonta Davis like he was untouchable. But the moment Jake's clips started trending, that shield cracked. Sponsors went silent. Analysts started asking hard questions. Even hardcore Tank supporters began admitting the truth. This wasn't just a PR problem, it was a moral one. And that's what made it so powerful. Jake Paul didn't leak a scandal. He exposed a system, one that lets champions hide behind gloves and fame while victims get written off as distractions. So yeah, maybe Jake went too far, or maybe for the first time, someone finally went far enough.
We will make a determination of next steps once we have completed our review and consulted with the appropriate parties. Until then, we will not be commenting further.
When the dust finally settled, the fight that was supposed to shake up the boxing world, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, was officially dead, done, gone. No rematch, no reschedule, no dramatic weigh-in showdown. Just a quiet email to the media that read, in the most corporate way possible, the event has been postponed indefinitely. Translation? It's over. And honestly, no one was shocked. Once the lawsuit hit and the clips of that press conference went viral, there was no saving it. The network started backing away faster than a rookie sparring partner after a knockout. Pay-per-view distributors, brand sponsors, even talk show producers. Everyone suddenly had scheduling conflicts. Because let's be real, no one wants their logo next to a lawsuit.
Not really. I mean, he's supposed to feel like that. He's the bigger guy. He say he paid me and stuff like that, so I let him take the high route. I take the low route.
Meanwhile, Gervonta's empire started to crumble in slow motion. The man once called the face of boxing was now the face of a PR disaster. Every highlight reel now came with a disclaimer. Every endorsement he had, poof, under review. It wasn't just a career on the ropes, it was a legacy in free fall. On one side, people were furious. We can't cheer for abusers, they said. He doesn't deserve the ring, he deserves a courtroom. On the other side, loyal fans held the line. He hasn't been convicted, they argued, innocent until proven guilty. But in the court of public opinion, there are no appeals, no cross-examinations, just outrage and hashtags. And that verdict came fast and final because this wasn't just about Tank anymore. It was about the industry, the whole machine that keeps turning, no matter who gets hurt underneath it. The truth is, we don't just love champions. We worship them. We turn them into gods, hand them our loyalty, and then act surprised when they start believing they're untouchable. Because when fame becomes armor, accountability doesn't stand a chance. And that's the real question hanging in the air. Can greatness excuse cruelty, or has the fight game always been built to ignore it? A sport that celebrates power even when it destroys everything outside the ring?